Councillors, thank you for attendance. I declare the June 2024 ordinary meeting of the Warrandyte Council open. Warrandyte Council acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands within the Warrandyte and acknowledges the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who reside within this Shire. Councillor, I call for apologies to leave absence from this meeting. The General Manager has a number of you.
We have Councillor Matoski, Councillor Taylor, Councillor Brewer and Councillor Van Eldon.
Someone happy to move those four apologies. Councillor Bruce happy to move. Second, Councillor Jackson. Put that, all those in favour. Against, carried. Moving on to the minutes of the ordinary meeting last on the 23rd of May. Someone happy to move those minutes as a clear and accurate record of that meeting. Councillor Whiteley is happy to move. Second, Councillor Jackson. Councillor Whiteley.
Yeah, I commend the minutes as a true, correct record of last meeting.
Any comments, questions, necessary amendments to those minutes before we put that? Nothing further, put that, all those in favour, against, carried. Moving on to the disclosures of interest. Gentlemen, have we got any have been tabled?
I think that Councillor Derrick might have.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So just a non-pecuniary interest regarding the Airport Operations Committee and also the report on the development application approvals. So I don't believe I need to remove myself, as there's no recommendation about those.
Insignificance.
Yes, thank you, noted. Thank you, Councillor Derrick, for that. Item 6 on our agenda, the mayoral minute, if there is one. There are no mayoral minutes. Item 7 on our agenda is reports to the committees. First of those being the Airport Operations Committee minutes. That meeting held on the 5th of June. Someone happy to move those minutes? Councillor Bruce, you're happy to move that. Second. Councillor Jackson. Councillor Bruce.
I'm happy to move them and I'll pass that to the General Manager and is present at that meeting for comment, please.
Mr. Mayor, the most significant thing out of it is that there is a draft airport operations manual that's been amended with some minor practical amendments that's now going to head off to CASA for approval. We also made sure we went and had a final inspection out at the airport. Everything was going fine. Importantly, the wind shear assessment was reported, and what's the final result of the wind shear assessment is that lots 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 have already been developed with hangars. 3 and 4 continue to be used in similar size hangars and all that. The 5, 6, 7 and 8 won't be developed because of wind shear. And what will happen is that I think it's either 17 knots north or northeast. There'll be a permanent NOTAM that will eventually go into the Ursula that say, guys, land at the other end or on O3 or on the unsealed strip if that is the direction of the wind and it's 17 knots or more. Smaller planes have to do something different for 15 knots anyway. So, but that's just that's just the case. Lots of other airports will have similar type things. Sadly, 5, 6, 7, 8 can't be developed, but 2 more lots can get hangers on with no real effect except the same wind shear that will be reported to everyone. Talked a little bit about the exclusion fencing. May get some more advice as you elaborate in regard to the bear kangaroo management plan program. But there is budgets. There's budgets in 24-25 subject to grants that we will attempt to get either whole budget or extra grants before we go and do that work, but we probably want to put at least 0.3, maybe even 0.6 on top of the existing fence to well and truly make sure it's almost 100% exclusion fencing instead of 80%.
Councillor Jackson, then Councillor Walker. Councillor Jackson?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Just wondering, those lots that can't be developed now, are they still owned by council, or, and those lots, remaining lots that can be developed, are they still owned by council?
Yes.
And will they be available?
Yes, they are.
Okay, so they're available for interested parties to purchase at this time.
Yes.
Are they advertised?
Kind of. Not a massive advertising against the four, but everyone knows the 2 lots out there that everyone in the aviation industry. Yeah. One of the many things to the is,
Councillor Walker?
Yes, I was just going to ask the General Manager then, if the 4 lots are unavailable, is there any other area that you can, is it restrictive in the development and the going forward if you've got all this lots from
it's 4 lots that are closest to the, I believe that subdivision wise, 1, 2, 3, 4 have been done. I don't think 5, 6, 7 and 8.
So there's nowhere else you can have more hangers or?
It'd have to be worked out in the future, but there's a lot more investigation to be done.
Just one brief comment about the fencing, as well as height. I think some investigation in skirting the fence would be appropriate.
I understand. I thought the design was skirting to stop things from digging underneath. They're jumping over the 1.8.
And
They're digging as well.
digging.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments, questions regarding the Airport Operations Committee meeting? Nothing further. We'll put that all those in favour. Against? Carried. Moving on to item 2 in the reports to be finished, that being the meeting of the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee. Harry, Councillor Derek, happy to move that, thank you, as the representative of Council on that committee. Second. Thank you, Councillor Walker. Councillor Derek.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I am the non-voting member of this committee. So we do have Chairperson Graham Fleming and 2 independent members, Graham Marchant and Paul Smith. It was a more enjoyable and interesting meeting than I expected. I did go for an extended period of time. It was scheduled for 3 hours and I went for 4.5. As you can see from the minutes, there was a lot of information which the Chairperson did comment upon, the thoroughness of the information provided to the committee. Lots of questions asked, obviously a lot of time spent getting to understand each other's positions and I guess setting some sort of framework for this new committee moving forward. I guess I'm quite optimistic about what the future holds for this committee. Chairperson mentioned several times that he really wanted to be collaborative. He's happy to facilitate resource sharing between councils. I guess really not trying to make things harder or more onerous on council, but they do have a job to do. And I guess the comment was also made that the charter could allow for a great exercise of power, but the chairperson again said they're really not wanting to overstep the mark there and definitely not trying to create extra work. So I guess everyone's getting to know each other and yeah, trying to work out how this committee is going to be best run moving forward. So thank you very much to the executive assistant and the general manager for providing such comprehensive reports and minutes from that committee meeting. Thank you.
Is there anything else to add to that? Any further information? No. Councillor, I think it is pleasing the sentiment that's come out of that as enunciated by Councillor Rowett there, that there is a potential to be another layer in terms of my thinking is bureaucracy on top of what we already do. So the intent of this, the chair and the two other independent auditors on that committee is as it is in terms of the degree of goodwill. That's very positive. I'd just like to defer to the gentleman regarding our internal auditor, Keith Coates.
So, internal auditor Keith Coates, he's probably been our internal auditor the longest in the whole area, and he's due to personal health, family health, he's slowly moving retiring. And so the first one, following a little bit of due process, because what's supposed to happen is there's supposed to be a little bit of a turnover by either external auditors or internal auditors that you really aren't at the place for so long, because you get accidentally complacent, you get too close to the organisation. So we're one of the ones that he's picked as being the first to retire from. I think a chance over the next 12 months to 2 years, the rest, he does 4 or 5, will be the same. So the Divisional Manager of Finance Administration will very soon go out to try to find a new internal auditor. He's promised to help that new person to pass information on. He's still got a couple of small, he's just finished the governance internal audit report and a few other things. He's trying to finalise lots of little jobs that I was able to give him for some human resources policy matter stuff. So hopefully in the next 2 to 3 months we'll be having a report to council for a new internal auditor.
Councillors, anything further information sought on the Audit Risk Improvement Committee?
Yes, sorry, Mr. Mayor. One of the things that the ARIC has asked is, if possible, you have some form of details of timelines for completion of matters, and so that will slowly get changed across the whole of the organisation. So the action sheet, the next action sheet's already been done for this, showing timelines, estimated timelines of certain items to be done. The only other committee that used to have that was Sporting Facilities Committee. Well, slowly over time, everyone will have the same type of timeline, some sort of estimate of when a certain matter is expected to be completed. This as something extra, and that half prioritises things and half gives interest to people to get things done by a certain time.
Anything further on the minutes of the Risk Improvement Committee? Ready? Nothing further, put that, all those in favour? It's carried. Moving on to the meeting of the Water and Sewerage Committee held on the 7th of June. Councillor, happy to move that. Councillor Kinsey, thank you for that. Second. Second, Councillor Garrett. Councillor Kinsey.
Yeah, that meeting was, we agreed to run the sewerage system as years the old shed, like pumping station there, subject to whether it might need upgrading later on or not, don't really know. But after the meeting, I went and had a drive around the site, and it really does worry me that we haven't done a topographical survey of the area, because it's very, very undulating. There's ravines in there that, you know, I just don't know how you can say it's going to be a housing development unless there's a lot of dirt there. And I don't know whether that topographical figure's been done yet. It's requested on the roads meeting, it wasn't requested on the water meeting. I think we should be very cautious about what we do until we get a topographical figure done. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, managed engineering services as a comment.
May I just clarify, topographical data was done, and that's what the design was based on.
We know how much dirt we're going to learn to get it satisfactory for residential development.
We are consultants doing an elevation map.
In case that's all right.
The consultant is doing an elevation map so that we can
Work it out.
work it out. Basically, it's just so that it does make sense.
Mr. Mayor, just to add, the only other matter, so we've got a reasonable sized budget this year that will be transferred into next year's budget for water and sewer telemetry. And over the last two years or so, slowly some of the items in the existing telemetry were replaced by farm bot stuff. And so there was two directions: replace everything by the next level telemetry, or continue with farm bot technology. And the committee's heading in the farm bot direction because it's much cheaper, and it's for our size organisation, it doesn't need to look like almost a nuclear power station. In the sense of the monitoring system, the farm bot monitoring system will tell us when there's something wrong and where it is, and that we need to go and fix it up. That's the important thing. And so everyone, and it's not a lower technology. It's just not as complicated. And I think a lot of people are using the farm bot technology out there in a positive way.
I think also, Mr. Mayor, that farm bot thing has been going on for quite some time. I give it just 10 years, so we've got most of the bugs out of it by now.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no. If it works, Councillor Kinsey, we stick with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Councillor. Anything further, Councillor? Councillor, any further information sought regarding the minutes of the Water and Sewerage Committee meeting? Nothing further, we'll put that all those in favour. Yes. Carried. To the committee, sorry, the meeting of the Race Committee held Tuesday the 11th of June. Councillor Whitewood happy to move. Second. Councillor Kinsey. Councillor Whitewood.
Yeah, Rose Committee meeting was well attended and quite long, but we got through a lot of the important stuff there. Obviously, as was mentioned earlier, the recommendation for the Gunning Borough State layout was endorsed subject to making sure it fits into the topography. The other things when reading the car is our director report on conversations with last week, stop and roads and stuff on employees. Notably, the report that has some last meeting, we need to and discuss each one of those in detail. We have recommended to engineering services to put a on either end of the Bullering Road because of the area count is, or one end or the other can be skewed because of seasonal truck movements. The traffic counts detail indicate seasonality of heavy vehicles, especially. We then moved on to the AI road technology, which the council is in partnership trying three other councils. It's positive going ahead. Stay alive and get report back to our roads start quicker, more efficiently, and do the main thing will be objective, not subjective, and I'm pretty good at that. We also talk about our RMCC report and how we're getting on with the highway maintenance programs, and the report was generally positive with a little bit of probably, so we say, nothing should be done with it. The flood report came in, really getting there with the flood, but we need to negotiate our timeline of repairs. Simply was time, so I think I'll get the services if you wanted to. We need to negotiate a timeline on some of those repairs.
Council, any questions, comments? Comment on
we have APRN that has not been approved yet. That's the APRN for it's not been approved, but according to the guideline to complete the works is the deadlines that they have to next year. So, consider that almost $11 million for the park. I do not think we can finish that in 1 year. So, the happens like this. Because we get at the time as well. I make space. Okay. The event invited a long extension. So,
respect that this going in place so the current financial status. It is important for us to document everything, get it in, so we get paid for what we do.
I'm the general manager and paid to contribute to engineering services aims in place. So, point taken up with it.
It's not only our council, in the conversations over coffee when we were away months ago, the council was not
we before they've actually the chance to have actually had to use permission from someone to fund. That's our dire straits. The division manager finds some strategies in
get dollars into it and invest it to actually earn, because we are 24, and even this year, relying on a lot of investment. So that's why everything, we're, it's not just funding, we are starting to get lots and lots of payments in.
Councillor Watt.
Yeah, and partners doing the same thing. You know, conversations like, oh, we can pay you after the 30th of June. Was 1.5%, nobody cared where the money was. When it's 5.5%.
Thank you. Councillor, any further comments, please? I think that this is the next meeting of the June. The meeting held on Thursday, the 12th of June. So, second, Councillor Bruce, Councillor Derrick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wasn't at this meeting. In fact, the persons to some of these actions, but I'm aware that Transport New South Wales was informed today some of these matters, and I was also that there was a meeting at the regarding potential for a bus transport service between the town and Warren. So there's grant fund available that's explored at the moment. First step would be to survey the community to obtain the need. So as part of their this is before I know we're looking into that as well. So more that hopefully we're now going to start to and I will ask the committee to motivate those that
This meeting was the best police on there. Commented that those investigations and so the background of this was that the school requested that the current person on Moss Street be moved to Park Street, and then that area based on the use as a drop so because currently this confusion about the use of that person. So transport is there to do investigations and they will advise us. The other thing that came out from the meeting, just for the information, is the new school bus stop.
So I think we circulated a copy of the that so you very that was yes. Yes,
If you can remember those proposals to have a school children on Hale Street, that was taken to the traffic police and after taking proceeds accommodated. Transport, yesterday, we had stations there. We had a meeting there. I was there with Transport of New South Wales and also the principal of the school. And right now, the action that is being taken is more one act for which possible. So transport will get profit.
Councillor, you have any comments regarding the carried. Now we move on to the minutes next of use Councillor White is happy to move it. Councillor Jackson, Councillor White.
Yeah, amendments to the meeting and ask the general manager to come.
So in the minutes, there's the example of the list of proposed items on my newsletter. So July, as an example. Setting up a council tour and opening the projects last council in August, so the end of the term we're working on to get several projects finished for the mass opening, or hopefully relevant politicians and all government parts together with inspections of projects that aren't quite finished. For example, the Warren Memorial will be within a couple of weeks finishing, we think. So the final thing to have a good look. Many small things apply on that too, but it's not one on the list because it is really in the first week of September, which is listed. You'll see on page 5 of the minutes the summary of money that's owed in relation to flooding. That's why we're working on that to make sure that we get paid as soon as possible. We also start to get all that money in in relation to work on the RMCC, which is pretty large as well. 1.466 for heavy action. It's actually slightly less than 1.176 million for the BCF. I think a lot of the plans should be making individual financial situation happy. I think we've got a couple of claim in, and we're doing another claim pretty soon. I think 63 or 82 managed by the government. 82. 82 hopefully paid pretty soon in relation to about 2/3 of the costs out of the depot and the freeway still more getting paid very soon. Plus consideration of the construction of the internal access road. Lots of working on to check the reporting and the reporting will happen, of course, return. And we have to make our librarians for 21 years service tonight. there's a vice president to present to her the services.
Council receives from the rework happening, all that regional research to explain why that's the case, so that questions asked. So there's one I want to explain to councillors what we're doing in the inspection at Northern State, why they ask this and rework being done. Just so that councillors know if questions coming from the way having to redo something, you'll have the answer.
Yes, as you know, we're doing about 3.2 kilometers at Milo and MCC. So what we found is that the shoulders are not in the construction. We are talking about the access to crossing them. So the past kilometer, the short of Florida, and all of that, but the advice is just speed and then we can come back later. So you see us coming back there, later, take up Florida again, that's the reason. So technically, again, technically, the shortest. The advice is we just seal and come out of that. So I'm expecting to get that with the same.
So at this point, we basically his team suggested that it would be their instruction as justified. So just been following, just been following is one. Those following it's been very clear.
I don't know, it's really this discussion following on from that. I've had a few people ask me about all the is that, I don't know, what's the question?
It's probably determined in it's going to be to do with Manix, so it's one comes forward. Division one new.
That's not my reaction to so it'll be there for 3 hours.
Mr. Mayor, we're preparing for a very large flooding program. It's got a policy using regional road block and to prepare culverts, fix 2 stop sites, all preparation and before the list.
So you can go from new section to the stack all to the intersection we set up. Come back and that's all. It's a lot of things very much appreciated, and so the intention is to fix that whole session. It might be a subject on the water major in the board. That's a lot of
I think general comment with RMCC. And it was mentioned in this room that Miller is going to be difficult. It was mentioned all I said, they probably about this whole thing. RMCC to come back at us and is there any way that the executive of this organisation really kicks them up. Like, we're getting the flat.
That's why we're coming to this to give the right players that as contractors we have told them how to do it. We actually knew exactly how to do it. Because of the experience of the which was last time, they weren't prepared to do that. They needed to get in there to get their funding expended, and we have to make sure that our community knows that we are only working as a contractor to what Transport for New South Wales wants. Again, we will be responsible for the huge amount of heavy patching in accordance with what needs to be done. And you can promise people and be told them how to do it properly, and it was not taken on.
The college,
Is that they are making sure that there's funds to actually in 24 go and fix it up. Or we do another $1 million to $1.5 million for that actually plus that. There's more. I'm very pleased that they saw fit to be able to throw almost $15 of additional single money. First time for 8. That's one positive.
Thank you. Councillors, any further comments, questions regarding the minutes of the next meeting? Whether put that all out in favour, it's carried. On the board does say that we will get circulation. I'm happy to move that from the chair. Someone to second. Councillor Kennedy. There was a pretty ever turn up the country there's 100 that meeting showing two things. I think the respect for that organisation itself, there's not URL might actually it's for us. Second thing is that politicians come and actually speak to that. Again, it says it's an important conduit to getting information out. The minutes there's some pretty interesting presentations. The first one was, the one I think was important was the Nexus.
Yeah.
It's quite scaling in the way that local government funded, and particularly suggesting that there is a real one, there's an equity base that should be adhered to, and that equity base is that each person is treated much in the same way in terms of funding. Very, I think his submission is information accessible to us, but I'm very plain out. So it's interesting to hear after in terms of the cost of audit that every council is finding. One council in the south of the state, the justification was all cost-based in terms of how external auditors were appointed, and one council in the south of the state allowed auditors local. A council in this said, why do our auditors come from Bendigo? Had no answer for that at all. So, unfortunately, the audit office lacked a fair bit of credibility to every mayor, every manager at that meeting. Which is sad, but and we're seeing it here. Last year,
Chair of IPAR is treated much more positively because they realise that 2 years ago IPAR and now they're actually trying to fight it, get organised to actually upload the government to the hinder, and so they're treated different.
I think very receptive to understanding how our cost bases are different to the CPI cost bases. So, seeking all had the opportunity to offer some insight into our cost bases, and they've taken it on board and responded in time. So, the relationship with is actually quite good. Councillor, any further information or Councillor?
It's a nightmare.
There was a very astute lady who's come in as overseeing who's working her way through all that in a very particular the number of outstanding matters from 1,000 back to a couple of hundred sort of thing in terms of the tier ones from back their response. So she, in the space of a couple of months, has whittled that down quite significantly. Had to be 200 underneath it to do that. But again, it was one of those areas which was big satisfaction right around the mayors and the general manager of how it actually works. Certainly, they're complaining, are aware of it, and working, I think, to get it rectified. And I think they've got the right lady. Which is, I don't know the managing health and development differences there. Nothing yet.
Very happy that we're getting 30 to 40 days a year. That allows us to actually information into as we're trying to help get the information to the board. The portals now supposed to where all the inspection reports go into as well, and that will be next for us. One thing that is now happening is country mayors is investigating the grants or the lack of grants for 23-24 onwards, which is won't be surprised because most will say that we didn't get any new state government grants in 23-24 at all. It's happening to a lot of us. Reporting will hopefully be showing a serious problem of lack of payments tomorrow morning. That we'll hear it from one staff because we have them some
Those in favour? It's carried. close item one, then board checklists, to move item one to the main report. Thank you, Councillor Jackson, have you been moved? Second, Councillor Walker, Councillor Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have anything specific to ask and invite the general manager to talk to the TPLs in highlight.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, so this is a new process to focus across all the checklists of where we're where we're moving things and tying things up. So that's helpful in me going through and I'll quickly go through them, Mr. Mayor. So on page one, we're just tidying up information to as projects come close to fruition or certain interests are completed, it's time to remove. So lots on page two. Most of that that comes from the Andy's building. We're still working on an order completion of everything at Carter precinct. To page three, getting times happening, same thing. Volunteer applications is probably taken at the Visitor Information Centre. Just to justify that. Then title on page 6. We're still working on, we are behind in relation to action, strategic action. The regional rare disease planning program, the draft is now on the road. And what we've been is just tidying up our 6 or 7 priorities that get funding or head in the direction of the future. Swimming pool lining is now out until it's funded, and it's now hopefully in the hands of the state government and our local member. Pools in the Western region are a priority. Hopefully we will get something in the future. Our fraud and corruption costing framework has all been adopted and tidied up. It's now on our website and distributed to senior management team members. You'll know that one of the jobs we're going to do as part of ARIC is to make sure there's actually a implementation plan to look on. Everything apparent from page 9 is now complete. People appointed and working. Many communications, a little bit of a tidy up, not completely yet. Page 11, of course, is now being totally funded for the lead project and spending the money. You'll probably find we're working on October council meeting for main blockworks back on the river and Lawrence Park downwards for a tender because we're not timing it right because we can't go to the August council meeting because that's within the period of caretaker. That's probably good timing to make sure there's 110% everything's right. And we just push the point of time wise. On to page 12, the water telemetry and pump request is now different because now it's just council and water committee. The manual on page 13 is organised. The local community infrastructure phase variation for rifle range road intersections. Given approval to make sure that by 11 rifle range road intersection is approved by and we've got to June 2025 to do those two intersections and to finish off, and we will do it earlier than that, but shy of 58 Navatai Bogan Road reconstruction, which is partly funded by local community fund street. The bank at Parker on page 15 has been installed, and town services managers found that there's actually water going into it. It's actually kind of practically complete now, but we get time to go. Technical report for the burdens complete with the again. Won't be able to go to all, so we'll probably get October analysis report. On page 16, manual has now been submitted to CAMA. That's gone. Then all the aggregates, local management conference, I think the town services manager is going by himself, and the supply of the that's all been page 21. Coastal Recycling Service been placed on top and communicated to the community of results. And we're starting to make some moves on the investigation in relation to the return and earn facility, making sure that the money is in place. That's it.
Thank you for that. Comments, questions, information, so we get the main report, standing report. I think we'll put that all those in favour. Against carried. And features of one being really down. Someone happy to move that report? Thank you, Councillor Jackson. Second, Councillor Lindsay. Councillor Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I thought I'd point out that it's really not respect. It's scheduled till, I think it's the 8th of July. Something like that.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson. Councillor, any further meetings that are not on our schedule?
We are meeting the local member Parks on the 12th of July.
Alliance of Western Council's meeting is on that same morning via Teams, so we'll do that and meet them straight after that. Actually, should we consider any councils but any issues as well that we need to raise at the study before our next council meeting?
So please email us to bring anything up, please. Any thoughts?
And this is just reminded people in this system or the National Party out and then that one over the basic the solution to If you're inclined, they're very welcome. Thank you. Any further comments, questions regarding item 2? Any further? Put that all those in favour? Item 3, the reports of the general manager being the works program. Thank you, Councillor Whiteley. Second.
Very, very close to contractually the importance is, I think, so I think it's playing for some sentences that are not specific to the issue. And 80-90% of the works and drainage works has been complete. I think very, very soon fencing and turfing and tidy up, and we will have a finished project ready. And I'm expecting the ability to use the airport terminal building now, which is very, very soon the Bankstown flying school will physically commence. In relation to the drought proofing project and other areas, we're moving towards organising finalised quotations and negotiations between the Warren Shopping Club and Racing New South Wales to get that complete over the next few months. There is about 100 metres of exclusion fencing on the Corinda side happening right now. On page 29 is where the advertising for I'll take that back. Hopefully, first week of September, everything will be right for facilities. We're expecting a near complete project on 27th August 30. Lots of grants now finalised for levy, while all the grant. Lots of government special grant is $887 million is part of the contribution, plus the grant 807,000 plus Commonwealth Government's $5.325 million for the 21-22 National Flood Mitigation Program. Page 33, all the sadly unsuccessful with those three grants. We're just trying to tie out all our reports leading up to the end of the year.
Thank you, Any further comments regarding infrastructure projects? Nothing further. All those in favour is carried. Manager, have been determination of local government. There's a recommendation there in front of us. Someone happy to move that recommendation? Second. Jackson.
Just a recommendation. That's reasonable for a council of our size.
Mr. Mayor, it's in budget.
It doesn't really go on with taking it in. So, yeah, we will be on with the council. Any further comments or questions regarding the board? Yes. On the draft memorandum of agreement with River Smart Australia. Council River Smart Australia. So that's what happy to move the motion with that memorandum of agreement with River Smart Australia. Move. Second.
Yeah, I recommend Mr. Canal, council and ask the mayor again, comment.
So, Mr. Mayor, by about the end of October, the agreement is that still lots of use of the Windows on Wetlands Centre Precinct by River Smart. By the end of October, we're working on that. The Visitor Information Centre will be completely orange tile, with no presence unless it's volunteer. Use facilities of Visitor Information Centre because River Smart is still providing volunteers who become volunteers on Saturdays and Sundays, which is very pleasing. We're working on facilitating the movement of their payments to a different location because now that River Smart have some licensed the building and much more. I'll call it the old Kookaburra Cafe. Containers and be moved to facilitate much more proper parking, generally tidy up in the area, and then child and Warwick Marshall Visitor Information Centre being councils and not having the problem of being involved in the building. Everything else is really us trying to get together to make sure we get lots and lots of future grants, make sure that we are maintaining the area, including Tiger properly, and still good partnership with two organisations.
Just to point out, the government in region and development and
small the slight change is probably something that should be changed. The very end is accidentally been it's getting changed.
If I may, Mr. Mayor, I attended the complex of the audio thing a few weeks ago, and may I congratulate our staff in River Smart on the presentation of the whole area. It's our staff hasn't been in the information centre what they've done to that complex and our displays. Congratulate our staff and also the volunteers and staff. The whole complex is something that the whole
to the Warren show, most of the help attract economic and physical activity for decades to come.
Thank you for comments, questions. We'll put that all those in favour. Carried. Item 6, program progress reports. The state government. I think you move the recommendation there. Sorry, Councillor Jackson, second. Or
Recommendation. Thank you.
I think the gentleman you did read there, and I think that was highlighting the risk council of the grant fund, basically, when you really read the overriding concern that we have. Gentleman, do you need to comment further?
Well, look, we have to be honest. We can't do anything to our hearts. There are some regions that we should all be concerned about. Green is certainly one of the major ones. Hopefully, very soon, good examples, say, on page 60 is we will have some council safety precinct into the police for doing it's so red until we don't. We have green, some yellow, because things are pressed. We will watch over, and of course, new council will actually be doing a new delivery program. So we'll have a new one, a new consultation program. Good luck to the new councillors. Hopefully, we have the same process where a very large teamed approach of the management and the new councillors are able to come up with both a new delivery program and new operation plan for 20. Telecommunications will one of the presentations in relation to telecommunication facilities by the Department of Regional New South Wales. It's gave. I see so we can actually talk to everyone who's shy. I understand that I'm shy, still speaking like the two small hills that have seen one time. I think that Councillor White, you picked up pretty quickly, Mr. Mayor, that my red is lots of grants. And I'll commend the report. We are still reasonably the management executive of the organisation is still learning to use the integrated plan reporting documents. That time will improve. I don't think without a full
Councillor White.
Just briefly, just really you indulge in the debate on telecommunications. The immediate switching off the 3G network in a month's time is going to really accentuate that problem. And I expect that 4G will go everywhere where 3G does now. It's not 4G will go everywhere where they're maxed out. 3G goes a lot further than where they're maxed out. The other thing that will is value many things, including some of the security cameras and stuff all through. The notaries even aware that they want to, what the water telemetry. The proverbial will hit the fan next month.
If they'll be sending it out to late August,
Yeah, well,
not to the home.
but I think
You know, it's going to happen. We almost like the worst, well, it'll be a year 2K but will be a problem.
Sorry, Councillor Bruce has a comment, please.
Yeah, I'm just really happy to see improved health services within the community.
Yes, that particular issue has come a long way in the last couple of years from where we were when we sat with rural medical services about to have a very difficult time over there on family health centre. Yeah, improved a lot, and nurses accommodation there now. Yes, and lots of good things happen. We need to keep on that one, Councillor Bruce, as you well know. Councillor Jackson.
Thank you, Sir. I just wanted to just go in off the back of what Councillor Drews was saying. One of the items in there was a health expo, health services, ageing, youth, disability. I know other organisations do have run sort of, I suppose, services expos. Is there any opportunity that council's planning to co-host or work with and achieve that particular item through collaborating with other organisations such as the Grassroots Expo type of thing or private health network or anything like that?
Not that I'm aware of, Councillor Jackson, but I'll perhaps be deferred to the General Manager.
Look, it's on the list. It's a mixture of council, interagency, staff, small steps first. We do talk to Royal Flying Doctor Service a fair amount. I mean, enough where they're telling us some of the positives that's happening. And very, very soon, I suggest a local fellow lady doctor that will be very positive. Meaning very, very soon, someone who doesn't need to be supervised and a lady doctor in 10. Let's hope so.
Yeah, I think in that space we're much more positive. But Councillor Jackson, yeah, I take it on board. There's lots of services. Maybe that's something the interagency would just get on their agenda and just slowly start to work towards it, actually getting that event to occur. But just probably start, as the General Manager said, small steps and see what we can do in that space, potentially. I'm looking at Councillor Derrick as the chair of that committee, that's fine. And Councillor Walker. Councillor Jackson, you on that committee as well, interagency? No. Anyway, well, it'll be potentially new council before you have the next interagency meeting. Councillor Derrick, is there another one scheduled? Okay, in which case it might be just worth getting on the general business. If that's something that you think is good. Thank you. Any further comments, questions regarding the item 6 of the General Manager report, the delivery program progress report? Any further with that, all those in favour? Carried. To item 7. Report of the on our attendance of the 2024 New South Wales Local Government Roads Congress. So we have to move the information received noted. Councillor White is happy to move that way. Second. Councillor Drews, Councillor Whiteley.
Councillors, Mr. Mayor, yeah, this was one of the better conferences that I've been to as far as probably outcomes and the learning capacity for me personally, but it was well done by Joshua Devitt, the chief engineer, and the staff. There was presentations that were very, very interesting. The AI one that we talked about earlier was very interesting. I'm glad that this council's gone on board with the trial and implementation for that. We had a presentation by Scott Greenrow, who is he's the road freight heavy vehicle director for Transport New South Wales. He's telling us what's going to happen with road freight, and it's not going to get any less, especially, and he's the sort of guy we need to work with our regional road flat network, and he is also the guy that we need to keep, staff need to keep annoying about our roads, you know, truck stops and never tire and one out in the tip that we wish to do more with. There was an interesting presentation by a guy by the name of Warren Sharp, who has a lot of experience in planning and network planning, integrated planning. Unfortunately, I think he's going to retire, but certainly a lot of knowledge he imparted both at the meeting and at dinner later that night. And yeah, I think Councillor McCloskey, General Manager, and I, we really learned it was worth the 2-day effort. Thank you.
We're page 133 of the business paper is evidence that we were there. And I am participating.
Yes,
That's pretty important.
we can see this.
And importantly, where the whole lot of us are there is actually the Minister for Roads. So we're saddling up to him very nice and gently and pleasantly and asking for money there. It's quite obvious. We won't let him go unless he gave us money. Sylvester is with the lady who's the Transport New South Wales AI expert. And we're just, what we're actually there is just showing that we're jack of not getting grant money. Now, everyone's has received and communicated. I've emailed it separately to everyone. When's the Parliament House? It's a really good Congress. And, I don't, it's far from being a waste of our time. And it is pleasing that the government and the opposition are there. The whole roads and transport people are there. And of course, our Director of Transport for New South Wales was there too, and he made the mistake of sitting with us. I was the one.
Yeah. That's not a mistake. That's a very good thing. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You want to try it?
No, not really. So just for information, apart from Asset AI, now IPWA and Transport for New South Wales is working with councils towards machine learning. So this is one step further than Asset AI. So machine learning enabled to predict defects, deterioration, and also tell you when you need an intervening. For example, if a seal cover this year, it can tell you which year I need the reseal again or recover. So yeah, that's in the process. So
you're onboarding that as a trial again, is that how that works, or?
Yeah, it's still in development.
No, and you guys will be, you guys, as the entire council, and
Yes, yeah.
really, okay, people, well done. That's really, really good, really excellent. Very good. Is there any further comments, questions regarding the 2024 New South Wales Government Roads Conference? Nothing further, put that all those in favour? Yes. Carried. Item 8, the report from the General Manager, that being the 2024 Western Division of Council's midterm conference. Minutes are there. Councillor Jarrett, you're happy to move those? Thank you. Second. Councillor Bruce, Councillor Jarrett.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think it's always worthwhile attending these conferences, and Crowbar always does an excellent job in hosting. The General Manager has provided a very good summary, and I don't think I have any further comments to add to what is written here. But I am pleased that I think that we narrowly avoided turning it into a COVID super spreading. So that was good. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Derrick. Couple of points. I think the first speaker on the Thursday was the Minister of Regional New South Wales, Tara Moriarty. Unfortunately, she seemed to be in a bit of a hurry, in and out quite quickly, but I did manage to grab her at the end of her presentation as she was leaving, raised two issues with her, swimming pools, as in the membrane lining that we haven't been able to afford. She's taken that on board with her chief of staff was there as well, so I was able to just get that on the agenda, and spoke to her also about, in terms of, she was talking about water at one stage, spoke to her about borrowing up to 120%, just getting that on the agenda is something I don't think she was very aware of. And it is started to take notice of it when it was made plain to her that Minister Jackson was fully aware of the what was being proposed, and she needed to get on board. And she said, "Well, I'll be talking to Minister Jackson shortly, so we might just follow that up, General Manager, and just see what's going forward in that space." Unfortunately, she was, in terms of grant funding, basically there wasn't any, was there? Because I talked about the Regional Development Trust, which is 350 million, and then she got back to 35 million, and then it got to about 10 million of talking about airport improvements, and that was about the extent of any sort of detail that we were able to get from the Minister. A little bit, underwhelming in terms of what we could ascertain for Regional New South Wales. Didn't really talk about the way Regional New South, the Department of Regional New South Wales has been restructured either, and
she didn't take to do it.
Which was it's been contracted quite significantly and becoming part of Department of Premier and Cabinet. So the inference from that is Regional New South Wales perhaps becomes less important when you're batting away, and she's left it. Not much down, I don't think, but I don't know that we're going to change things there. The other important one is that presentation around telecommunications that fellow whose name escapes me again.
Peter Adams.
From Regional New South Wales spoke very plainly about telecommunications and the disappointment with the state government and Regional New South Wales in the way that it's being any communications being achieved. Pointed out, the figure that sits in my mind is Telstra spend $272 million a year on advertising. So what could Telstra do, in my view, in terms of fixing the telecommunications problem? The other issue was the three main carriers, being Telstra, Optus and TPG, have declined to often to have, if someone builds a tower, decline to have the other operators on that tower. And he showed us a photograph of where that hadn't occurred. It was a Telstra tower, but then the Optus transmitter was down below the tree line, Telstra only allowed Optus to put it up to that, at that height because they, inverted commas, suggested that they might need the rest of that tower to put further transmitters on. And so there's a real issue in that space. Regional New South Wales have drawn a line in the sand though, and they do commit about $1 million to any, I will commit $1 million to any new tower, but the part of it is that they will not, every carrier must have access to it. And so the carriers now are being brought to the table. What Regional New South Wales are trying to do is have the same standard imposed by the federal government, so that any tower, all the carriers are on it. You know, we as taxpayers are paying $1 million a tower subsidy to commercial operators, and it doesn't sit very well with Regional New South Wales, and when it's pointed out to us, it doesn't sit well with anyone I would have thought. So, full credit to Regional New South Wales for actually drawing a line in the sand and saying this is not satisfactory. You might add to it.
Economic Development Visitation Managers got the job to do our submission, our draft submission for the Regional Telecommunications Review submission, like we did a couple of years ago. She is now talking to this man to boost up our submission to include a lot of the thoughts that came from Peter Adams, because quite obviously the third world is in, well actually I think they're probably more than that, because go to the third world and every tower has got everyone on it, and you know that by roaming it clicks to the next one, it clicks to the next one. Why aren't we doing the same thing? And next, it's not this week, but it's next week, we'll be talking to the CEO of RDA Rana and about Dharma, if there's any help for us as an organisation for their designated area migration agreement with our vacant positions that we've got. And look, Mayor, it wasn't yet. COBO is yet to be able to provide any of the papers, but if they do come, I'll email to everyone. So, thank you.
Just Councillor Derrick, anything else that you think we should draw other councillors' attention to out of that midterm conference?
Thank you, Mayor. I don't think so. The General Manager's provided a complete summary, and yeah, I totally agree with your comments as well. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Alistair Lund's only positive, meaning Director of Western Region Transport New South Wales, is funding for truck rest areas, and the Division of Engineering Services will be writing through me to the Minister for Regional Roads and Transport to say we've got two lovely locations that would be really good for full truck rest areas, meaning never tire, and out on the big one out here on the corner of Arthur Guy Road and State Highway.
Alistair Lund was Transport for New South Wales. I sat next to the Roads Congress. It does appear that road funding will fall in her his work, well, I didn't actually say it in that terms, but the emphasis will be on safety, which means stops, and will be on more like curb and guttering and those sort of things. There won't be that, from what he was suggesting, there won't be that amount of grant funding that we've seen come for roads that we've become aware of.
Disappointing thing is that they can announce $1 billion of roads to the airport. I was still waiting what the 3.3 billion in the budget for the roads is. We will let you know as soon as we know.
On the upside was that the other one that was a little bit of an upside is Peter Adams and Alistair Lane in terms of rest stops. The fellow from Region News, I was talking about telecommunications. Peter suggested that we could have put a booster tower to encourage people to stop, and a booster tower at every stop that was a designated rest area. And so we might end up in a roundabout way getting some better coverage as a result of that. It won't be great, never try to pretty ordinary, but if we could push the truck stop fatigue stop thing, which is a big push from state government, they're really concerned about road safety, and out of the intersection of State Highway 11 and 202, in a roundabout way we might get a little bit better communication, but it was a reasonable thought that those two being in the same room together suggested that might be something that was sensible. So I'll wait and see in that space, but nothing. Nonetheless, it was always worth going to those things. You just don't know what's going to happen, and what if you're aware of stuff, then we can work towards it. Any further comments, questions regarding the Western Division motion? Nothing further. We'll put that all those in favour. Carried. 10. We'll do the final item of reports from the General Manager, item 9, pertaining to the disposal of interest for councillors and designated persons. Again, just someone having to move that recommendation. Thank you, Councillor Jackson. Second, Councillor Kingsley. Councillor Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just note that the related party disclosure policy wasn't provided with this notification. So I think we could get that.
Completely separate. Completely different and separate. This is the blues?
Blue form.
These are blue forms?
But the blue one, yes, okay.
These are the 3 ARIC members. Yeah. Next month you'll get your blueies to do.
Okay. Sorry, so who's this for then?
This is a different one.
Which is different to this?
Yes, sign and fill in
Okay.
and for this man here.
This one, okay, I'll bring it later because I'm missing information for this one. So beg your pardon, I didn't realise it was a different
This
measure.
is a different one.
Yeah.
Gosh, okay, thank you.
Plenty of disclosure going on here, Councillor Jackson.
So, Mr. Mayor, these are the disposal of interest returns from council designated persons, and it's the 3 new ones who are the 3 ARIC members. And it's tabled over there on, and they're all ready on the website. Mr. Mayor, you got the instruction you want to do with your, what Councillor Jackson has brought up?
Sure, the KMP items I just circulated here an annual requirement for audit. Something I'm not sure what you may have disclosed to employees, if anything, but if you have any questions, we can go over it. Sure.
Only that it says, please read the related party disclosures policy provided with this notification. And there isn't, hasn't been provided.
It's on the website.
Which website? Our website, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, but
So it refers to that in context of what you might consider pecuniary and non-pecuniary type interest.
that's what you're saying is it's not, doesn't have to be provided with this form, we just go and look on the website to read it.
Yeah, this would be the 3rd time you filled it in.
Yes, and I've never had it provided, and that's the question I'm asking. We just have to go and look at the website in order to find out what that policy is. Okay.
Just a reminder, I read council premises, so I declare that on that form, yeah, so that it's all very clear and plain and transparent. So, yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I give over to the General Manager.
And it's specifically in relation to the deemed related party transaction, if any, for the reporting period. So the motion might declare pecuniary, non-pecuniary interest elsewhere as required. If there's any transaction type stuff related to it, this is where we capture it.
So I guess what I'd like to say, is council's about to turn over, potentially have a lot of new councillors coming in. And perhaps this form could be amended to point that out, because I'm asking that question and, you know, everyone already knows the answer. Do you know what I'm saying? So perhaps that's just something that could be made more clear.
Sure.
That's it.
Councillors, we might adjourn the meeting and make our way down to the library. We library. Sorry, Councillor. Oh, we haven't moved in second, sorry. Sorry, moved by Councillor Jackson, seconded by Councillor Kinsey, the disclosure of interest in information retrieved noted. Put that, all those in favour? Against? Carried for June. On Jai Council, after attending the opening of the Warren-Shire Library, doorways to an open air library, great event and great facility. Moving on to the report to the Division of Administration. The first of those is a reconciliation certificate. Someone having to move the recommendation then. Thank you, Councillor Jackson. Second. Councillor Dress. Councillor Jackson.
Thank you, Sir. I just move it in terms of the recommendation and invite Visual Manager of Finance Services if he wants to comment on it.
Is there any news to comment on there?
To the chair, no. Councillors, any questions from councillors?
Any further on the reconciliation certificate? Being the case, we'll put that, all those in favour? Against? Carried. Moving on to item 2, statement of rates and annual charges. Councillors will note that we're going to align this period with the 30th of June. And so, the information there is nil at present, but it will give the Manager of Finance Administration a chance to be able to compare like with like in the line up at the end of at the 30th of June. So the recommendation as it stands there is that the information for the period 30th of June is noted as being tabled for provision of the July 2024 council meeting. So Sleep will move in the second of that. Thank you, Councillor Jackson. Councillor Whiteley. Councillor Jackson. Nothing on that, councillors? All those in favour? Yes, carried. During item 3, Division Manager of Finance Administration report, the work progress report. Again, mover and seconded, just for the recommendation. Councillor Jackson's move. Second, Councillor Kinsey. Councillor Jackson.
As a further recommendation, I have nothing specific to say. I'll ask.
Any further councillors on item 3? In case we put that, all those in favour? Against? Carried. Item 4, the adoption of the 2024-2025 operational plan and estimates. Recommendation there, we note that there was at least one, well, there was one submission in relation to those, the operational plan and the estimates for the 24-25. Just looking for a mover and a second for the recommendation. Councillor Walker, have to move, thank you. Second, Councillor Jackson. Councillor Walker. Councillor, you'll note there are some notes regarding all of the issues that were raised in the submission, and I think they've been pretty nicely and adequately responded to. Thank you. General Manager, on issuing,
and just a general tidy up of the things that were.
Yeah, a couple of things that.
Well, it's we're all, every council in the states, March, April was completing and finalising their draft fees and charges and estimates and things, and still waiting on documentation from state government organisations to complete those fees and charges. Latest one was only yesterday. Animal control fees and charges. So what's happened is there has been a reasonable increase in our roads for recovery. Not as big as we thought. It may change again, but we thought we were hoping we were all going to get about 1.31 million per year. We've got about 1.15 instead of 655. That may. So we've just evened it out within reason for over the 5 years, and just a complete general tidy up of little things that we noticed through the documents that just need to be tidied up.
So that R2R, that's just a dollar amount. It won't be indexed at all.
They've told us 5.766 million over 5 years, and they're working on 150. Same as every year with 655, 258 every year for 5 years.
Yeah. So the costs increasing, the closer to the end of that period we get, the less we're going to get done with those dollars. Is that fair? And so we'll receive that money when we actually receive
it. Just on an annual basis, so the only relative change to that 1/5 scenario will be if council's program of works change. So this still maps out the network and what the roads to recovery money will be spent on. There may be a little bit of change around that, but annual, at least,
annually,
whatever the value might end up being.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions in regard to the operational plan and estimates 24-25? Nothing further to put back. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Moving on to reports of the Division Manager of Engineering Service. The first of those being the works progress report pertaining to roads. Again, someone had to move the recommendation. Information received and noted. Councillor Kinsey's had to move. Second, Councillor Whiteley. Councillor Kinsey.
And just a recommendation, Mr. Mayor, it's interesting to see all the stuff we actually do. See the paper, it's a bit daunting, really.
So you note, Councillor Quincy, the number of asterisk items in there where we actually have completed projects. So that's always that line. Councillor Whiteley.
That 326,000 divisional manager for bushfire hazard, we've spent 163. Is there a time frame on that?
Mr. Mayor, we have passed the deadline for expenditure, so we've stopped that part.
Right.
Just on that hazard reduction program, we're going through a whole array of change in how they manage and I guess facilitate that kind of plan. So we actually had it cut off a little bit earlier this year, and even though they suggested we can catch up some of it up to the end of June, being the end of the reporting period, the financial year. They've basically drawn a firm line this time, saying we can't sort of do it on an accrual basis to say, okay, we'll spend it in the first couple of months of the new financial year. They've just cut it off. Excuse me, sorry. And moving forward, they've been a bit more firm with their deadlines and the nature of the process of how they look at allowing councils to make application for it. So we put in a fair bit of work. They operate, I can't remember the exact term. There's two sides of it. There's a 5-year hazard reduction fuel management program that we had to go through and map out all of our road network that we're doing mechanical activities on, asset protection zones, so like the TIP and other areas like that. If it wasn't in that 5-year program, excuse me again, sorry, then we wouldn't have been able to make a claim for it in our annual based hazard reduction program employees. So it's becoming a big thing to try and manage and keep up with. So essentially, we haven't had the availability in the area for given the other road works and whatnot to have slashes out there active and of course weather and whatnot. Into the new year, I think it's a similar sort of value for the next financial year, which they haven't actually given the nod for as yet. But
the 300 or the 160?
340,000.
yeah.
So from the 1st to the 7th, we will start again and just get stuck into it where we can, if the machines are available. Don't machines are available, because if machine and men are available, because if bushfire hazard reduction doesn't pay for it, Shire roads and regional roads will pay.
So if in scenarios such that we wanted to do a combination of chemical control and physical control,
They won't pay for chemical control.
they won't.
We'll keep spraying the guideposts as part of what we do. And in fact, the example in Narromine, I think chemical control does not look good at all.
100% chemical control, the combination, one or the other, to reduce slashing.
So hopefully we'll just get, if men are available from the new year, we'll get back into it and make sure we don't have the same problem as what we've got this year. It's really 138,000 on 163. We've gone and applied for $138,000 worth of reimbursement. We might be able to get our 163 spent, but I don't know. I mean, fancy having a program that's 23, 24 that finishes on the 7th of June. Anybody else finishes on the 30th of June. And we might have got to 200,000 if we whatever's been done is looking good. It's one of the reasons why, Mr. Mayor, we need about 6 more staff in roads. Quality staff.
The drama that you.
Yeah.
Might have to look in that space. Very good. Any further comments, questions on item 1, this will make engineering services report pertaining to roads? In case we put that all those in favour? Against? Carried. Item 2, this is mainly engineering services report pertaining to town services. Again, someone had to read the recommendation, the information you received and noted. Thank you, Councillor Jackson, had to be moved. Second, Councillor Walker. Councillor Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just moving the recommendation as stated.
Councillor, I'm just looking through the ones that are asterisked here, but as having been concluded. Councillor Whiteley.
Yeah, the column is the 80,000, 40,000 waiting on invoices. Is the 40,000 what was spent, or the total, or is we still waiting on an invoice to get more?
It's finished.
Finished at the cost of 80 or finished at the cost of 40?
Whatever.
I checked that figure.
I need a committee costing. Well, you haven't overspent. To my knowledge.
Any further comments, questions, information sought regarding the works progress report? Councillor.
Yeah, interesting one. The cameras were supposed to start yesterday. There's a chance probably today. I think Shogun Racehorse is where the first 10 go. It was supposed to start yesterday, but they won't be there today. Which will be good. Hopefully the July meeting there'll be a report that adjusts our CCTV policy, surveillance policy that allows a fee not just to us but to the police station. We'll be spending more money than Dubbo Regional Council on CCTV cameras. Which is good.
Yes, as long as we don't have a result out of it, we need to investigate. Very good. Any further comments, questions of the works progress report pertaining to town services? And further, we'll put that. All those in favour, against, carried. Third report of the Division Land Division Reserves report pertaining to the fleet in the workshop. Someone happy to move the information received noted again. Thank you, Councillor Walker. Second, Councillor Jackson. Councillor Walker.
Just having the recommendation, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Further information sought about any of the items listed there? Nothing further, we'll put that. All those in favour? Against, carried. Moving on to reports to the Manager Health and Development Services. The first of those being the development application approvals. Councillor Jackson happy to move. Second, Councillor Drews. Councillor Jackson.
The recommendation be received and noted.
Thank you. Sorry, question or?
Aye.
Sorry?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just the first item, the approval date. It's got 2025.
Okay, thank you.
Which means that would change our averages in a great way.
That's all. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Terry, for noting that.
Things in tables.
I mean, that was well looked at, Councillor Terry. Thank you. Any further comments, questions regarding the development application approvals? Nothing further, put that all together in favour, against, carried. Item 2, works progress reports. Containing Health and Development Services, someone has again leave the recommendation. Information received and noted. Councillor Jackson, thank you. Second. Councillor Walker. Councillor Jackson.
Information be received and noted.
Nothing further on item 2, Manager Health and Development Services report. Okay, so put that, all those in favour? Yes, carried. Item 10, there are no notices of motion or questions with notice. Councillors, on item 11, I'm not aware of any matters of urgency unless the councillor has something they wish to raise as a matter of urgency. Councillors will now move towards the committee of the whole closed council. So we need a resolution to proceed to the committee of the whole closed council. Consider the matters listed, and at the same time, I'd ask the move and second that the resolution to exclude members of the President. Councillor Drews has had the move. Councillor Jackson. Thank you, Councillor Drews. Councillor Jackson. We'll just put that. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Yep. Council, we've undertaken the resolution that we've moved back to open council, and the recommendation is as per I will read out. Recommendation that the information is received and noted. 2. Mr. Gary John Woodman be reappointed as General Manager, Warrantyre Council, as per his reappointment request letter dated 19th of March 2024, under the following conditions. A. Continuation of his contract of employment from 15th of March 2025 for a period of 5 years. C. The same contractual conditions as the current contract of employment, with remuneration the same as current and adjusted as per either the sought salary adjustments or council resolution following the next annual performance appraisal, brackets, plural. And D. Future statutory increases in superannuation automatically increasing the contract or employment package of the General Manager by the equivalent amount of the statutory increases in superannuation as per Council's Resolution 337.12.23 as at the December 2023 Council meeting. Now, looking for a mover and a second of that. Councillor Kinsey is happy to move. Councillor Whiteley is happy to second. Councillor, we've had a full and frank discussion. There is anyone want to add anything before we put that? No, that being the case, we'll put that. All those in favour? Against? Carried.
We just said,
Thank you, Mr. Woodman.
you can't work Sundays, Gary, that's the only stipulation.
I thought that might be the case.
So we just need to cover all accounts, the ordinary business, and whatever is right, and conclusion of the meeting. Councillors, I declare the meeting closed. Thank you for your attention.